LeBron James recently dropped a comment that sent shockwaves through the NBA world. He compared Kawhi Leonard's latest endorsement deal to Mafia business. And the more you learn about this story, the more bizarre and suspicious it gets.
That wasn't a sponsorship, it was a no-show job. Straight out of the Mafia playbook.
Kawhi Leonard, known for being one of the quietest superstars in the league, is now at the heart of a massive financial scandal. It involves shady payments, bankrupt companies, and potentially a serious case of salary cap violations. And somehow, it all centers around a financial company called Aspiration, which was falling apart behind the scenes while sending millions to Kawhi for doing basically nothing.
This Kawhi, the entire thing of going into business with this dude, all the stuff it cost them, all the players and the draft picks, plus this scandal, it has to be the most damaging transaction in the history of the league.
The scandal came to light through journalist Pablo Torre, who uncovered documents linking Kawhi to a $28 million endorsement deal with Aspiration. The weird part? The contract says almost nothing. No social media posts, no commercials, no appearances, just recurring payments with services not specified. That's not an endorsement. That's a check with no job attached.
Welcome to Pablo Torre Finds Out. I am Pablo Torre, and today we're going to find out.
Aspiration branded itself as a green, socially responsible financial company. It had backing from some of the biggest names in pop culture: Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert Downey Jr., and Drake. But according to reports, none of them get suspicious. The payments to Kawhi matched up almost perfectly with two key events. First, when he signed contract extensions with the Clippers. Second, whenever Aspiration needed emergency cash. The timeline looks like this. The Clippers, or someone connected to the organization, poured around $118 million into Aspiration over just a year and a half. Around that same time, Aspiration was slipping toward bankruptcy. Suddenly, $21 million shows up to keep the company afloat. Another $56 million, spent buying vague carbon credits. Each time Kawhi got paid, Aspiration had just been funded. And every time Aspiration got funded, the Clippers had something to do with it. The money wasn't random. It was looping in a cycle. Clippers' millions kept the company alive. That same company then sent money to Kawhi, even if nobody broke a law on paper. The optics here are wild. Steve Ballmer, the billionaire owner of the Clippers, claimed he had no clue about the inner workings of Aspiration. He said he was misled. But documents show that even after Aspiration was clearly struggling, he still invested, even adding another $10 million in 2023 after its financial troubles were public. And Dennis Wong, Ballmer's college roommate and part owner of the Clippers, wrote Aspiration a $2 million check just 9 days before they made a $1.75 million payment to Kawhi. Then came the biggest moment of all, when Joseph Sandberg, one of Aspiration's founders, pled guilty to defrauding investors of over $145 million. The Department of Justice called it a greenwashed Ponzi scheme. And now, every dollar going in or out of Aspiration is being tracked. That includes Kawhi's money.
Kawhi that's the apex? That is the highest paid celebrity endorser of this?
And yet he hasn't said a word. Not a post. Not an interview. Total silence.
Of all the rich and famous people they paid to be part of this, to legitimize this, right? Iron Man, the guy from The Revenant, right? All these people, the guy from Degrassi High.
Silence has always been part of Kawhi Leonard's identity. He lets his game speak. But in a scandal like this, silence doesn't protect you. It creates more questions. Why would a player making $40 million a year take this kind of side deal? Some say he simply valued financial stability. A clean-looking deal, a steady source of off-court money, possibly team-approved. Who wouldn't sign it? Still, how the public views it makes all the difference. Kawhi got paid millions through a company secretly bankrolled by his team's billionaire owner. And now that company is bankrupt and under federal investigation. Meanwhile, the NBA has officially opened its own investigation, and they're not treating it lightly. They hired one of the top corporate law firms in the country, the kind of firm you call in for billion-dollar cases, not your typical sports contract dispute. And what are they looking for? One thing, salary cap circumvention.
The salary cap, for people who just aren't familiar with it, This is important because it does what?
It stops the richest owner in the world from being able to do things that the poorest of the rich owners can't do. So there are certain owners, think about this, if you're an owner who makes private planes for a living and you just give a private plane to your player just for S's and G's, that's something that a guy who buys a team who runs a corner, family drugstore wouldn't be able to do.
If an owner or their associates fund an outside company, and that company pays a player on the same team, it's essentially an off-the-books payment that goes around the rules. This could be one of the biggest cap scandals since the Joe Smith situation with the Timberwolves in the 90s, which cost them 5 first-round picks and millions in fines. Like that deal, the paperwork here is full of vague language, suspicious timing, and a clear financial pattern. LeBron James didn't hold back either.
Kawhi's deal wasn't the first, and it won't be the last. I've seen players get paid off the books for years, and if I ever said who, I probably wouldn't finish this interview.
LeBron's been in the league for 2 decades. If he's saying this isn't new, it's probably not. But it's rare to have documents, receipts, and a guilty plea all in the same story. This time, it's not a rumor, it's a paper trail. The fallout could be massive. If the NBA finds real proof that money was funneled from ownership to Kawhi, the Clippers could face millions in fines. Draft picks could be stripped. And Kawhi's contract might even be voided or restructured. From a legal standpoint, things are just getting started. But from a PR and legacy standpoint, the damage may already be done. Kawhi's name is now tied to a collapsed, fraud-filled company. He was supposed to be the face of the Clippers' new stadium, a hometown hero. Now he's connected to one of the league's ugliest off-court stories in years. And because he hasn't spoken, people are filling in the blanks for him. Whether fair or not, the silence lets others control the narrative. Every league has its scandals. But when you add in billionaire funding, a federal investigation, and one of the league's biggest stars refusing to speak, it's not just drama anymore. It's a turning point. So now the real question isn't whether Kawhi broke a rule, it's whether he becomes the face of a problem the NBA has been avoiding for years. Was Kawhi a victim of a broken system, or did he know exactly what he signed? Let us know what you think in the comments, and stay tuned. This story is far from over.